Well, this is nerve-wracking. It is still leaking. Is it weather or is it aliens? Did the aliens put it there to communicate?
There ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to find your own.
Found a spray of coolant high in the radiator. There's a crack in the radiator. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I couldn't sleep. I'm just ready to hit wide open spaces to be back to my natural habitat. Well, this is nerve-wracking. I had about a 3-hour drive to where I wanted to go. I pulled over just a little while ago to let Sadie out and make my second cup of coffee and check, and it is still leaking. So the epoxy isn't holding. I can't tell where it's leaking from, though. There's a spray going on, which is making me a little nervous. So I know I'm taking a huge risk. Once I get to where I'm going, I'm just going to sit, so it's fine. I just need to sit and ride out these high temperatures. And the reason I'm doing that is because the longer I stay in Pahrump, the more I have to pay for an Airbnb. And so I'm trying to save a little bit of money, although if my radiator breaks on the road, knock on wood. Phoenix has been great so far. I think we're going to be all right. It's just nerve-wracking. You know, and I'm always second-guessing myself. Maybe I should have just stayed. I think if he ordered maybe he could have ordered the part yesterday and maybe gotten it done today. It was a long day and I just wanted to get out of there and I just wanted to get out of Pahrump. You know, sometimes my impatience kind of bites me in the ass a little bit. I'll own that, but maybe causes a little more stress in my life than I need. But this is life. This is reality. Sometimes we don't always make the most rational decisions. And again, you know, I share myself so openly just to kind of share my process with you so that you can know what to expect if you're already on the road, if you plan on getting on the road. I don't share this stuff to get feedback about my choices or to get shamed or criticized or you should have or you shouldn't have. I do that enough myself. I don't need people I've never met doing that. This really is just to share. I know it helps a lot of you. You know, my process and talking through my process and my faults and my, you know, shortcomings helps a lot of you face your own, and it helps you prepare. Well, what would I do in that situation? Well, Carolyn went through this and this happened. Carolyn took a risk and it worked out or it didn't work out. And, you know, my goal always in sharing is to help you have a more successful go at it, whatever that is, whether it's RV life or any other challenge you want to face. I don't share things as you're not my therapy, you're not my therapist. I really do have a purpose behind sharing everything and hoping to help you. So I'm not asking for help. I mean, yeah, when it comes down to it, I'm not asking for help, I'm trying to help you. So keeping an eye on my gauge. It hasn't moved. I don't smell coolant, which is really interesting because I can usually smell it. Just taking it easy. I just want cooler temperatures and wide open spaces. That's another lesson I want to teach you. The longer you're on the road living the way I do, the harder it is to be in civilized society. I'm just not happy there. All right, we'll see. I was saying it's worth the risk, but I won't know until I get there. And what do you think, little one? What do you think? You look like you might have to poop. did you? Got poop? Yeah, whoop, you poop. Oh, no. I said poop. I didn't say critter. I didn't say cow. So besides the radiator concern, though, she's running great. She's running great. All that because a sensor got unplugged. And I don't even think I've shared with you the whole story of limping into Vegas, limping into Perez. Boy, it just didn't want to go. I drove 5 hours from Flagstaff. I just wanted to get to Perez. I had a reservation to plug in to a hip camp, and I just wanted to get there. You know, it's my home base. I'm like, just get me there, just get me there. And a couple hours before Vegas, she started jerking a little bit. My check engine light never went on. I never overheated, but it was jerking. And at first I'm like, it's just the wind. It's just the wind. But it got worse and worse. And by the time I pulled into Vegas, I couldn't, once I slowed down, I wouldn't go. I was fine as long as I was going, but there was traffic on the freeways, so if I had to slow down, I wouldn't go. After slowing down, my foot all the way to the floor, wouldn't go. It eventually would kick in, but I was having to put on my hazards every time I slowed down because it took me probably a minute to get up to speed again. And especially going through town at stoplights. At every stoplight, I just had to put on my hazards. And my concern, I mean, there were a couple times I was like, I'm not going at all. I really thought I was gonna have to pull over on the side of the road and get towed. But eventually it would start going. And once I got up to 40, 50 miles an hour, it was fine. It was pretty okay. I mean, it jerked a little bit. And there's a big pass between Las Vegas and Perez. And I was worried about that pass. I was like, okay, if I can make it over the pass, I'm pretty much home free because I'm on the other side of Vegas. I climbed the pass with no issues at all. She performed just pretty much like she always does, maybe a little sluggish, but she did much better than I expected. And ever since the pass, I pulled into Perez without a problem. She just like fixed herself. By the time I pulled into Perez, there was nothing wrong with my RV. And this is again why I keep thinking every time somebody tells me it's the transmission. Your transmission would not do that. If my transmission was gone or even going, I wouldn't have been able to climb the pass. It wouldn't have self-corrected over the pass. I would have been slipping like crazy. And but you know, when I took it into the first shop, he said your transmission is going. It overheated, which made sense to me. Although he also said there was my transmission fluid was in perfect condition. So if my transmission was overheating, my transmission fluid would have been burnt. So that didn't make any sense to me. And that's exactly when I took it to the transmission shop. That's what he said. He's like, I'm going to check your transmission fluid. And he said, you know, named off all the other diagnostic things he was going to do to check my transmission. And what he said when he came back is, your transmission fluid's not burnt. You know, it's in great condition, he said. And that's because I don't flush it. You don't flush your transmission fluid. Somebody told me, maybe Richard, maybe a couple of you don't flush it. You actually have to change it, because if you flush it, you're just flushing all the bad stuff through the system and not draining it out, like any particles or dirt or anything like that. So I do get my transmission fluid changed pretty regularly. So yeah, my transmission fluid was in great condition, but I went ahead and got it changed anyway. But yeah. So that's the story. It was like 2 hours coming into Nevada and Perez of white knuckle, freaking stress, a mess. And then I got my mail, and there was like a certified letter from the IRS threatening to seize my property for non-payment. Remember? I told you guys I mailed in my taxes. I think I told you I dropped it in a mailbox and it never got there. Well, it didn't get there by like May 6th, so I went ahead and stopped payment on the check and paid it online. Well, for some reason it's not registering that I paid it. They're only registering that the check bounced. So as soon as I got into town, after all that stress, I had to get on the phone with the IRS. They still think I owe the money, so I just paid it. They'll figure it out. And then I also had a certified letter from the DMV. This is what happens when you don't get your mail very often. I need to start having my mail forwarded to me at least once a month because all this stuff piled up. So what happened with that, and I'll share this again with you too, a word of warning. When I was driving to New York, you know, I got really busy. I was traveling cross country. I was working. I was trying to get there and thinking about my mom. And I missed an email. I pay my insurance 6 months or a year ahead of time. I don't pay every month. And I thought I had it on automatic payment. I should look at that. I missed an email, or I think I saw the email that my insurance was about to expire, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to that later, and I never did. So my insurance lapsed while I was in New York for like 3 weeks, maybe a month, and I think they sent me another email and said your insurance has been canceled. And I remember going like, why are you canceling my insurance? I had so much going on that I just completely forgot. So I immediately re-upped my insurance when I got the notice that they canceled it. And so I think I was without insurance, 3 weeks, maybe a month. And I came back to a certified letter from DMV. They suspended my registration for lack of insurance. And I had to pay a $500 fine. $500. Luckily, I was able to take care of it on the phone. $500 for letting my insurance lapse for 3 to 4 weeks. So if you have a domicile in Nevada or another state, be warned, do not let your insurance lapse. They are on top of it. I figured, it's just a few weeks. How are they going to know? They're not going to find out. Well, they did. $500 fine. And again, I'm sharing the realities of life on the road. My routine is way out of whack because of all these trips back east and worrying about my mom and visiting with my mom. And, I went to Mexico last year, and I don't know, things are just kind of slipping through the cracks for me a little bit. I don't know if it's my memory, but, yeah. So set yourself reminders on your calendar, whatever you have to do to remind yourself. $500 is a big freaking, my first offense. If it wasn't my first offense, it would have been like $750. So because it was my first offense, it was only $500. So I had a rough homecoming. I had a very, very rough homecoming. It was not a fun couple of days. And on top of that, it was 100 freaking degrees outside. So, yeah. Yeah. Welcome home. It's still leaking. But my coolant's doing okay for now. Yeah, you can see the spray. I think it'll be fine. So the spot I wanted to go to is about 40 miles further. So I decided to stop in Goldfield instead. I think it might even be a little higher in elevation. It's about 5,600 feet. And I've passed by this gem field a million times and I've never stopped. And iOverlander says there's boondocking out here. So rather than push my luck even more, I'm probably just going to stay here. I don't know, the review says it's a big open lot. My concern is that because it's so hot in the lower elevations, there might be a lot of people out here, but we will see. We'll see. It's funny, I came through here last year when I left Pahrump. Not last year, earlier this year in the spring. I came exactly this way, and I was in the opposite situation. I was trying to stay low because it was too cold still in the higher elevations. And now I'm trying to escape the lower elevations to escape the heat. That's a camping spot right there. I think I might just take it. But I'm less than a mile from where the coordinate is. Let me go see what that is, because that's pretty off level. Let me see what else there is. What do you think? We're almost there. We're almost there. Yeah, there's one person out here. There might be more camping out here. Not really seeing any. Seeing roads, but I don't really feel like traipsing through the desert. So I think I'm just gonna have to drive all the way to the gem field at this point to turn around and go back to that spot. Okay, so I pulled into this spot, and it's pretty off level, although I probably could have gotten fairly level. We got out, we went for a little walk, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not leaking anymore. My radiator, everything up there is dry, and I haven't lost any more coolant since the first stop. I'm wondering if the epoxy is adhering better as it heats up. I put it on last night so that it would cure overnight, but I'm wondering if the heat is sealing it because everything under there is dry. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm not feeling this. It's right on the road. It's by a tourist attraction. Not that there would be a ton of traffic, but I'm just not feeling it. And I do want to stick around for at least a week. And if for some reason my spot that I haven't been to in several years doesn't work out, there are spots on iOverlander 10 minutes away. And it's just slightly lower, I think, in elevation. So it'll still be cool enough. And it's getting cooler every day. Finally, it seems like the whole crazy heat spell has broken, and we're inching closer to normal temperatures every day. So that's a good sign. I'm also not smelling coolant coming through my vents. And I kept wondering, like, if it's leaking so much, because I went through quite a bit on the first leg of this trip. It went down quite a bit, and I'm like, why aren't I smelling it if it's leaking that bad? But it hasn't budged. So getting by the care of my chinny chin chin. That's how I roll. I shouldn't push my luck. That's kind of, yeah, that's kind of who I am. All right.
Gently, you want it, feeling completely calm, so you can hold it in your palm and help it grow just like it was born to be. Come, 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 come. Whoa, 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 whoa,
It's been many, many years. I think the last time I was out here, I think I was with Capone, which would have been right after I bought this RV before Alaska. And I remember squeezing into kind of a small spot, but a little further down the road was a bigger turnout. So, look at this, how remote it is. Well, I didn't expect that. I'd gone out this road quite far, further than I remember going, but of course, you never remember how far you go out a road. But it's starting to level out, which is what I remember. Well, poo. I got out and tested it. It's solid. Oh yeah, there's one of the spots. That's one of the spots I remember. Okay, we're getting close. Yes. Okay, good. The smell of the sagebrush is what I really remember here. Look at all the sagebrush. Okay. Yeah, one of these spots is where I camped. Yeah, see, I think I might have camped there. And then up here on the left is a big turnout. All right. Last time I was here, I didn't have Starlink, so I couldn't stay. So I remember walking up to the turnout. I'm pretty sure Capone was with me because I felt really secluded and really remote, and I wasn't sure about wildlife. So I remember like really keeping an eye on him. Oh, I hope that wasn't it. That was a wash. Alright, no, there's a big open space up here. There's gotta be. Well, here's a road. But I don't think this is what I remember. Alright, let me keep going. Literally just within the past few months, I started getting in the habit of pinning my favorite camps on my Google Maps. I don't know why it took me so long to do it. I think I see it. I think maybe I see it. Oh, shit. times. And I walked through that water with bare feet, and now I'm feeling pricklies in my feet and my ankles. I'm afraid to look. Yeah, it's a little sandy. Shit! Well, I had to do a 35-point turn, but I was able to turn around. Alright, what are we gonna do? I'll let you know when I get there. I'm running out of space on my phone for recording anyway. Well, this proves sometimes you just can't go back. Nothing is ever, that this is an exaggeration, and it's not true most of the time, but nothing is ever as good as you remember. Yeah, there's no good camping out here. There's just not. I had one magical night here. Sometimes you just have to be okay with one magical night and not expect any more. All right, plan B, 10 minutes up the road, Overlander. If you live a nomadic life on the road, portable power stations are a fact of life. They have become indispensable, not only for their portability and compact and ease of use. They're so much more cost effective than expensive solar installations and all the complexity. You need the solar, you need an inverter, you need a converter, and with a solar portable power station, you have everything built in one. And as you know, Bluetti has been an awesome partner to this channel, and last Sunday I unveiled brand new Bluetti Elite 200. Today what I'm going to do is tell you how this smaller, more compact, lighter weight portable power station compares to the Bluetti AC200L that I've been carrying with me for quite a while. So my Bluetti AC200L, which I've been using for more than a year and I absolutely love, has 2,400 watts of power, 2,048 watt hours, and a power lift mode that goes up to 3,600 watts of power so that I can run any appliance, any tool that I need to run in my RV life. The new Bluetti Elite 200 betters that though with 2,600 watts of power, so that's 200 more watts of power, 2,073 watt hours, which is almost 30 more watt hours than you get with the Bluetti AC200L. So with the extra 30 watt hours, I'm able to run my little portable heater on low speed for 4 hours before I need to recharge it. That's going to come in really handy in these long winter days and the cold nights. And in addition, the Elite 200 offers 300 more watts in powerlifting mode. So you're going to get 3,900 watts of power in the powerlifting mode, which means if you want to start a blender or maybe even an air conditioning, you're going to be able to do that with the powerlifting mode. With the Bluetti AC200L, you get 6,000 charge cycles and a 10-year battery life. But the Elite 200 doubles the charges up to 6,000 charges and a 17-year battery life, which is 12 times the industry average. And that's why I've been so proud to be a partner with Bluetti. They have top-of-the-line, excellent quality portable power stations that last longer than a lot of their competitors. With multiple AC outlets and DC outlets, you can charge up to 9 things at once on the Elite 200, and you can charge 10 things at once on the Bluetti AC200L. The one thing that the AC200L has is a 30 amp RV plug. The Elite 200 does not have that. Maybe Bluetti in a version 3 will have a 30 amp plug, so if that's important to you, you might want to keep your eye out. Both have industry-leading LiFePO4 batteries, pure sine wave inverters, so you're going to be able to run 99.9% of your electronics on either version. And also, they both charge super fast. You can go from 0 to 80% in 45 minutes by plugging it into shore power or with 1,200 watts of solar. So if you've been on the fence about getting a portable power station, whether you're living on the road or you want a backup power source in case of an emergency living in your traditional sticks and bricks, now is the time to shop. Bluetti has some amazing Black Friday deals starting now, so you can check those out using the links in the video description below. And I also have a custom discount code, so you're going to save even more. And don't wait, tariffs are going to be hitting these products pretty hard. You're going to see the prices go up a lot next year. So if you've been on the fence, you want to get one for someone in your life as a holiday gift, or you want to get one for yourself to keep your family safe in emergency situations, don't wait, act now. Check out the links in the video description below, and thank you Bluetti for sponsoring this video. What a gorgeous view. My goodness. What is that? Look at that view. All right. What the heck? my gosh, what the heck is this? I mean, look, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Wow. What the hell? Weather, maybe? Although usually they're marked. And I'm almost out of space on my phone. What the heck? It's weird. It's not marked at all. But I'm going to guess weather. What are your guesses? Huh. So when I first came up here the first time and saw this, I thought maybe it was like for weather monitoring or something like that. What's weird is that it's not labeled. Usually USGS, US Geological Survey, they usually label things. But this has no labels on it whatsoever. So I shared it on Patreon first. I think with the insiders, I share stuff in real time. And Ralph thought it might be to measure continental drift, that it might be monitoring a GPS coordinate. He did a Google search of the dish, and that's what he came up with. Sounds as good as anything else. Interesting, though, that it's not labeled. This girl, man. Hey, she caught something yesterday, huh? You caught your breakfast yesterday, didn't you? Yeah. What do you think? Oh, you're so beautiful. So that's the battery. And this is whatever it's running. Oh, it's labeled underneath. It's got a number on it. Tried to get a picture, but of course she turned around. Want to try again? Is it weather or is it aliens? Did the aliens put it there to communicate? Maybe it is. I'm in Nevada. Actually, really close to the alien highway, in fact. Oh my gosh, the alien Area 54 stuff. Extraterrestrial, all kinds of stuff. Maybe it's talking to aliens. Aliens talking to aliens. So this is a nice loop. Get a workout going up that hill. A lot of walking in this camp, which I really like. I've already explored everything. But wow, amazing. Done? Okay, you want to bring it in? Come on, let's go in. Come on, let's go in. The wind is crazy. The wind is crazy. Oh my goodness. Whew. Whew. All right. Well, welcome back to the desert. And the wind. I do not miss the wind is something I don't miss. So this is the second night. Last night was the first night the wind picked up, and it was, I think, 38-mile-an-hour gusts is what I saw on Windy, was the highest. But I would think it was a little higher. It was pretty rocky in here last night. But tonight they're saying a little better. Well, at least the forecast I looked at was like 26-mile-an-hour wind, which means gusts higher. So it's going to be another rocky night, and it just started a couple hours ago, and it's going to go on for like at least the next 24 hours. Last night it started, but it was done by the time I got up this morning. But it's going to be super windy when I get up in the morning, which I don't like, because I like to go out and walk, and it's kind of not fun in 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Sadie even just ran in the door. She got blindsided by a huge gust in the mat. So things have cooled off a lot up here. What am I? I'm at 7,000 feet, I think. So it's been, when I first got up here, it was still a little too warm. 2 days ago, day before yesterday, it was still a little too warm. Today was only supposed to be, I don't know, in the 60s, tomorrow in the 50s. But anyway, I'm going to make some lentil bread tonight, a recipe I've never tried before. I found it online. So I like to bake when it is cold out, warm up inside the RV. In fact, I have a breeze coming in from my Starlink. You know what? I think I'll shoot. You know what? I'm going to I'll put that screen back on the window. I'll show you. It's hard to do this in the wind. Those screens that I bought that go over the door. Those things. They don't let, I'm not a fan. I'll tell you inside. Hi, sea girl. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I should have done that before the wind picked up. So I'm not a fan of those screens because they don't really let a lot of air in. But I guess, and that's why I put it up to kind of maybe block some of the wind coming in from the crack in the window from the Starlink. What they are good for is that on hot days, you don't have your windows up getting hot. They kind of block the sun from the windows, I think, if that makes any sense. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to make some lentil bread. Lentils, I don't know, you can Google it. Lentils and not much else. You see a critter? I don't have cornstarch, so I'm using potato starch because for some reason I have potato starch. And then ground flax, which I grind myself and keep in the freezer because I use it for substitute egg. It's a substitute for eggs for recipes for vegans. And let me see. I doubled the recipe, kind of. I didn't measure. So I'm doubling everything. Is it? That's 4 2/3 teaspoons. That's a lot. 4 2/3, but I didn't measure, so let's just do 1. Cozy? You nice and warm? Are you nice and warm? You look very cozy. I know, we didn't get a very long walk. I know, it's too cold. You good girl. Holy cow, that is good. It even has like a wheat bread texture. Oh my god, I'm gonna make this like every week. This is really good. Wow. I'll put a link to the recipe in the video description. Oh my god, that is so good. Well, I filmed so much amazing stuff in this camp that I couldn't fit it all in one video. So be sure to tune in next Sunday. I found some more really cool, interesting stuff, some ruins, some amazing, gorgeous scenery, and more hiking, including exploring some of the caves around the area, and even some Nevada Northern Lights. So be sure to tune in next Sunday for that. And if you like my content, subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below and click that bell for notification so you never miss a video. And even if you think you're subscribed, go ahead and double check, because YouTube does unsubscribe people. And don't forget about the Bluetti Black Friday deals, links in the video description below. And I hope you all have a wonderful, happy, peaceful Thanksgiving, and I will see you next week. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. I'll see you soon.